One thing I wanted to talk about was this notion that people do not become popular until they die because they lack the skill set socially to gain or garner popularity whilst they are alive. I have minor contentions with that because in the cases of certain artists or people who produce any body of work who get notoriety whilst they are still alive, generally speaking, apply to a very general, very specific, very marketable niche that's very common for the time that they are alive, that is prevalent whilst they are producing their body of work. Give me just one second. Okay. More often than not, people like Van Gogh as an example. Sure, he did not sell a whole lot of work, but even while he was alive, his work was very highly critically acclaimed. A lot of people have this romantic notion about who Van Gogh really was and what he did. John C.R. Warner led me on to this documentary about Van Gogh. The thing is, like, while watching this, it's really kind of daunting because it feels almost like there's this image that I have in my head of who Van Gogh really was being pulled out from under my feet. He was just a man. There is a certain type of person that doesn't become popular until they're dead because I think that just in them being dead, people can romanticize and give what would be best described as a personal account for how this personal or for how this person, artist or poet or philosopher, whoever it may be, has affected their life. When they're still alive and people have questions, you can go to them and be like, hey, did you mean this to symbolize this, or what were you going for? What was your use of texture all about? And they'll be able to tell you. And usually is the case with any art, any product, that it's a pretty simple answer. And this is where it comes down to a double-edged sword. When it's not simple, that person risks coming off as extraordinarily pretentious. And so it gets sliced one way or the other whilst the person is still alive. But when they're dead, it's this open question mark. It's this personification of whoever it is being relegated to the arena of myth. So a person can give their own personal interpretation of what this body of work meant, or any one piece from that body of work meant, and interpret what they were trying to say or how they produced their work. And since the artist is gone, since the author is gone, no one knows one way or the other. And even still, if there's indications left after they've passed on to more accurately define what it is that they were going for at the time, it still gets relegated to this form of myth, where okay, well, they meant this to mean this, obviously, because there's a journal entry or a documented conversation with somebody or a letter that they left behind expressing what they were trying to go for. But here's what I think that he meant by saying this, or she meant by saying this. It still gets cast into this area of myth and speculation and this kind of ethereal aesthetic that is not and cannot be present while the author is still alive. And more than people lacking a capacity for socialization or marketing their work, more than that, I think that this is what it is. Dead poets and dead artists. And while it doesn't have as much to do with social skills as much as it does with people's penchant for constructing this mythos behind the authors of any one given body of work. And yeah, I could probably elaborate on that, but right now the thoughts are still kind of malformed. I haven't taken time to think about it. I'm just kind of spitting this video out to you on the fly. So, yeah, anyway, that's kind of my input. Bye.